Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Skidgore. I'm here with a special video tribute to one of my inspirations as far as being a musician and a fellow horror collector. I mean, this guy had a huge influence on me, and that is Frank Killjoy Pucci, better known as the singer of Necrophagia and many great bands, extreme metal bands, bands of all kinds. And yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about him, and after I'll show a little bit of my collection of the man and his work. Um, I guess first things first, how I pretty much found out about Killjoy and Necrophagia. Pantera was my favorite band growing up, and I knew Philip had various other, bands and side projects and shit. So I figured I would check him out. And there was this old site on the internet called Super Site Ritual that had like all his bands, like Christ Inversion, Viking Crown, Super Joint Ritual, all those bands. And I saw one he had called Necrophagia, and they wrote all about horror films and extreme shit. So I thought, hey, that sounds right up my alley, man. So checked him out. Um, didn't hear him sonically, but I saw images of the band and what they wrote about. I went on their old website where they would recommend horror movies like, Bad Ronald or Burning Moon or, any Fulci, anything, movies I've never heard about, horror movies. And yeah, I really wanted to hear them, but I had no. Their albums were so hard to find at that time. We're talking probably like 2000, 2001, sometime around there. I was still in high school, so I would go to the library on my break in study hall, and you're supposed to be studying, but yet I'm on the internet looking up bands and shit. It's kind of how it started, and yeah, basically found out about Necrophagia and wanted to check them out. So my first time hearing them sonically, I remember like yesterday. I went to a store called Media Play. Y'all remember Media Play? And I bought three things. I bought Napalm Death's Fear, Emptiness, Despair, and Words from the Exit Wound record, or CD. And this, The Beyond from Anchor Bay. Now, I knew about this movie. I've never seen it. And boy, was I in for a treat. And I noticed on the back, Necrophagia and You Will Live in Terror video. So this basically was the beginning, first ever hearing the band. And I took it home and popped it in the player, the DVD player. And I wanted to really watch the music video first before the film, which is probably a mistake because if you watch that video through the and You Will Live in Terror, it kind of spoils the whole movie because they take the best pieces of it. But I did watch the video first, and wow, I was fucking blown away, man. Totally blown away. That scene with the tarantulas and Jill getting her block blown off by David Warbeck, man, is just unbelievable. Then of course I got around to watching the film, and that's a whole nother story. It made me a total full chief freak, But that was basically my introduction to Necrophagia's music. And I believe at that time, I think the only albums that you could get, I mean, Season of the Dead was so hard to fucking find at the time. Holocaust de la Morte was the one that I really wanted, and that was harder than fuck to find. But I did happen to snag Black Blood Vomitorium, from which that song is from. So that was my first ever Necrophagia, bought album, and it just blew my mind how brutal it was, and the imagery of the band and Chaz Balin's amazing artwork. I didn't know Phil left the band, Phil and Wayne left the band, and Dustin left the band, and Killjoy went to reform Necrophagia with a Norwegian lineup, which is my personal favorite, actually. And they released The Divine Art of Torture, based on the Coffin Joe films. And back then, I had no idea who the fuck Coffin Joe was. I think I might have heard snippets from like Awakening of the Beast from White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000, because they used samples from that film, but I had no idea what the fuck it was from. And I know Coffin Joe was on like a Headbangers Ball episode, but I didn't know at the time who Coffin Joe was. So Killjoy in Necrophagia introduced me to the great Coffin Joe as well. So I have him to thank for a lot, as far as getting into more extreme horror films and even music. Necrophagia, give a little back. I'm no fucking expert here, but they formed around like 82, 83, some shit like that. A bunch of various demos. I don't think they've played too many shows in their hometown of Wellsville, Ohio. I think they might have played a handful, but they definitely weren't like a touring band, So I think a lot of their strength came through tape trading. Bands like Necrophagia and Mantis, aka Death, kind of formed around the same time and wrote about the same subject matter, brutal death and horror movies. I think Necrophagia took it to the next level, though, as far as singing about horror movies, not just about gore and death and shit, but actually singing about real horror movies. I think they were one of the first ones. They definitely were the pioneers of gore, I think. I'll argue with fucking anybody. I think it was Death, Necrophagia. Obviously, got to throw Carcass on there. There's many other bands, but I think Necrophagia and Potato as well. But I think Necrophagia really took it to the next level as far as singing about horror and gore movies. So they were very influential, and they were also very influential to extreme music, even to this day, whether people know it or not. I mean, Cannibal Corpse pretty much gets all the credit for, doing all the gore shit. But, Necrophagia was doing this shit long before Cannibal Corpse and bands like that. No disrespect to Cannibal Corpse, they're one of my favorite bands as well. But I just don't think Necrophagia really ever got the recognition that they rightly deserved. And they really weren't around for very long because, they did Ready for Death. And then they re-recorded that again, I think, and that became Season of the Dead because I don't think they were satisfied with Ready for Death or whatever, which I don't get because I think Ready for Death is awesome, but it had more of like a raw feel. I think the guitars were brought out more. Season of the Dead kind of sounds a bit muffled. I mean, it's a classic record, absolutely, but it sounds a bit muffled. It doesn't sound as heavy as their demos and like Ready for Death, stuff like that. So, due to differences, they disbanded, and then Killjoy went ahead and did his thrash metal band Killjoy, based on around, I think his influences at the time were like Nasty Savage and Testament, bands like that. And they released an album called Compelled by Fear, which was fucking amazing, man. I love it. Then after that, he did a thrash metal band, kind of on the likes of like Dark Angel. Rest in peace to the guitar player, by the way. I just heard about that. That's fucking horrible. Called Cabal. Really good thrash death metal band. Really good production. And Killjoy was good friends with the Norwegian black metal scene. Maniac had a fanzine at the time, and then he had a band called Septic Cunts that were really inspired by Necrophagia's sound and style. And he got in contact with Killjoy, and then Killjoy put him in contact with Euronymous. So a friendship kind of formed there, And Mayhem on their Death Crush EP actually dedicated Chainsaw Guts Fuck off the track Chainsaw Lust from Necrophagia, so that's kind of cool. But Killjoy was such a huge inspiration to vocalists and lyrics, imagery, anything horror, death related, and he deserves the utmost respect, and that's why I'm doing this. Just nothing but respect for the guy, and he died on March 18th, 2018, and that's coming up. If you're watching this on Saturday, I'm hoping to post this on Friday so it gets there by Saturday. So celebrate the man's music, his career, and his legacy of horror, gore, and sickness, man, because he was a one-of-a-kind guy, really good guy. I was fortunate enough to meet him twice. First was Chicago Domination Fest. That was badass. Necrophagia was headlining on their White Worm Cathedral tour. And then the last time I saw him was with Venom Inc. in Funeral Nation. That was a badass show in Chicago. I'll never forget that shit, man. And he was nothing but one of the most humble, nicest fucking guys. You know, he would sign all my shit, talk to me about, working with Coffin Joe and Ryan Nicholson, Toe Tag. It was such a fucking awesome conversation, and I never would have known that would have been the last time I ever would have seen that guy. But it really was a magical time, and I'm glad I got to share that with Frank for sure. I remember he was a bit taken back by my knowledge of horror. I do remember that. Because I think I was wearing a Coffin Joe shirt at the time, the second time I met him, and yeah, we were just like that, man. Talking about horror movies and music, and it was just so fucking cool. But yeah, that's my little tribute to the man. I mean, obviously went on to make other great bands like the Ravenous with Chris Rayford, one of my absolute favorites. Wardelock, another good favorite of mine, Norwegian black metal. Haxxan, the last band he ever did. So much shit in between, which I'll get to. But I'm hoping I can get this all in one fucking video, but if not, it's going to be a couple videos. Because, I'm not going to leave any headstone unturned, because this guy deserves the respect and admiration for sure. And it's definitely dedicated to his family, his friends, and definitely his bandmates past and the last ones he had as well. So I'm going to show my Killjoy collection, all the pieces that I have. And I hope you enjoy it. Definitely, if you're listening to this, watching this on the 18th, make sure you fucking get some whiskey and fucking crank one of Killjoy's bands, whether it's Necrophagia or whatever the fuck you want. Because this guy was the man. One of a kind for sure. So I'm going to sign off now, and I'm just going to go around the room and show some of my pieces. Hope you enjoy. Gore Forever. Are we still on? Okay, unless this fucking thing is still going. Okay. So afraid I get so fucking far and it would stop. Alright. I'll just go through some pieces here. That's a rare Necrophagia promo from the Divine Utter Torture. This is a part of the Necrophagia banner that they would hang their logo on. Very fucking cool. There's the artists. And up next we have the great Chaz Balin art of Holocaust de la Morte flag. That's fucking awesome. And then below it we have the classic Season of the Dead flag. Very badass. And then we have the one that started it all for me personally. Black Blood Vomitorium. And we have a really badass old school logo. So those are a couple flags I have. Ignore those stupid masks. We have Divine Utter Torture poster. That's fucking cool. Made up to be like a horror movie. This is the second half of the banner that they would hang up at their shows. That is fucking amazing. I absolutely love that art. And then we have Cabal Midian on vinyl. That's a reissue, by the way, not an original. Still cool to have, though. And we have White Worm Cathedral on vinyl, signed to me. That's fucking badass. That was the first thing he ever signed when we met. The whole guy, the whole band to sign it at that time. We have Death Trip 69 vinyl, and then the Blood Pack CD. Oh, I'm on my hands and knees. This is fucking hurting. And then I got a signed copy of Eat the Bones demo. Can't really see that, can you? Pucci Lives, yeah. And then I have Ravenous 3 on a meat hook vinyl. And don't make me pronounce that. That was his industrial project with Artilla Keshner of Mayhem. Cool band. Oh, and getting off the fucking ground finally. Couple of his tour shirts he used to wear. This is his Wishmaster one. Killjoy loved these shirts. This is one of his old Beyond ones. Very cool. His infamous Killdozer shirt. He wore these a lot on stage towards the end of his days, I guess. Here's his toe tag picture shirt. This is the shirt he was wearing the last time I ever saw him. His Jaws one. He also wore that at the Venom Inc. show on stage. Very fucking awesome to have that. I'm so privileged to have that. And I got this shirt on eBay years ago, but then when I met him the first time, I got him to sign it. This is actually from his comic book that he made back in the day called Dark Harvest. He also wore this shirt a lot on the Divine Art of Torture tour and in various photos. This isn't the actual shirt, but a shirt just like it. It's a pretty rare shirt. And then he wore this one. This is Fulci Zombie shirt. This Town That Dreaded Sundown shirt. Very fucking cool. Couple set lists. This is the first time I saw them. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, yeah, this is the first time I saw them. This is Chicago Domination. And then this was with Venom Inc. It was cool to get the set list. And I'm just going to go down here, some frame stuff I have. A couple rare promos and shit. Stickers. This is cool. Oops, there's boobs. I gotta cover up Jen's boobs. Sorry. This is a personal letter Killjoy wrote to Phil Anselmo. Fucking cool to have. The Viking Crown signed by Killjoy, Opal, and Phil. Really cool promo cards and stuff. I'm sorry the lighting isn't the greatest in there. But a couple really cool cards and stuff. Pretty rare shit. This is actually signed by Killjoy and Phil Anselmo. I got it signed by Phil on a Super Joint tour, and then the last time I saw Killjoy, he signed it. Very cool to have. Just some rare shit that I cherish very much. Gotta cover up Jen's boobs again. That's actually a picture disc with Season of the Dead on it. Oh. It's a Word Lock sticker. Harvest Ritual promo. This was signed from the Chicago Domination tour. Very fucking cool. This is actually personal artwork from Killjoy. With a photo of, I don't know who that is. Is that Eric? That's not Eric Peterson. I don't know who that is. Very rare picture. Up there we have one of his favorite movies, Witchcraft 70. Oh, this is gonna be fucking hard. I got Ravenous signed. This is fun. That's really badass to have. Ugh. Behind there you got Haxxan vinyl. And then you got Last House on Dead End Street that he released with toe tag. A VHS of it. That's fucking cool. Harvest Ritual, Cannibal Holocaust, Goblins Be Thine, Legacy of Horror, Gore, and Sickness. This is cool. I signed August Underground's Mortem. He told me some badass stories. He had nothing but respect for toe tag, and he had such a blast working with them. Really cool to hear these stories. Nightmare Scenarios. Necrotorture. Very fucking awesome DVD. A live show. Haxxan, Loch Ness Rising. Limited edition, still sealed. Oh. Through the Eyes of the Dead. Wish I had that VHS. Wordalock Gorelord. Killjoy, Compelled by Fear. Excellent fucking record. I don't feel like taking it out, but that's the rare box set there. That's pretty fucking awesome to have. Pretty rare, I guess. This is the Massacre video release of Through the Eyes of the Dead. And the re-release of Ready for Death. Fucking amazing. That's a real rare one, the Moon and Fog 2000 compilation that has Eibon, one of Killjoy and Phil's bands with Satyr and Fenris. And then Death is Fun, way back there. And then we have Viking Crown, Banished Arrhythmic Hate, White Worm Cathedral, Cabal Midian, and Ravenous 3 on a Meat Hook. And then the badass 35 Years of Death Metal compilation. One of Phil's Mexican masks. The Wordalock Gorelord splits. Badass book that was supposed to be a movie. Some cool promos. Couple shirts and hats. Toe tag hat. Season of the Dead vinyl. Couple cool posters. Black Blood Vomitorium and Holocaust de la Morte picture discs, which I've never played. Here's one of his Mayhem shirts. One of his Motley Crue Show the Devil shirts. I'm running out of time. His Freemanson shirt. Fucking awesome. We get some personal items here, like his Nicholas shot glasses, which I still use. His infamous Night of the Living Dead stage shirt he would wear all the time. Some really cool shit from Dread Records, I believe. Enoch signed. His Manson hat he used to always wear. Just a couple really rare shit, really amazing stuff. Some hidden, really awesome patch. His stage shorts, his toe tag stage shorts you'd always wear. Very fucking cool to have. And then I have a couple books of his about Jim Jones and then Bad Ronald. Word Lock band version. Really cool adult comic book. That's totally Killjoy right there. You can totally see him looking at that. That's awesome. His Pucci Lives shirt. That's fucking cool. Chaz Balin artwork. I always love that. This is a really cool tribute to Killjoy. Nekromantikal Screams. I would highly recommend this this book. Really awesome tribute. Badass. Awesome artwork by Colin Richards. I would recommend that. Couple patches I gotta use yet. Here's one of his Exorcist 3 shirts. One of his Skepticism shirts. Cinema Wasteland shirt from 2002, I believe. A couple cool Necrophagia shirts that I have. That was his Mayhem shirt. That was one of his Rue Morgue shirts. And that's just a really cool shirt I was lucky to get on eBay years ago. But yeah, before my phone dies, that's pretty much my my collection and my tribute to the man, the great Frank Killjoy Pucci. Like I said, if you're watching this on the 18th, crank some Killjoy, man. The guy, he fucking totally deserves it. His music and his legacy will live on, and his fans. Much respect to his family, his friends, his bandmates. He will never be forgotten, for sure. And I will always cherish this stuff till my last breath. So, that is my Killjoy tribute. As Killjoy would always say, thank you all for watching very much. As Killjoy would say, oh fuck, you can't see it. That shirt glows in the dark. That shirt does glow in the dark, you just can't see it, sorry. But alright, that's it. So I will say goodbye. Pucci lives. Gore forever. Killjoy forever.